Hi guys and welcome back to another DrAce video, and today we're going to be playing MotoGP 22 and we're going to be using Nicky Hayden right here in Laguna Seca. So let's crack on. Into the first corner we go with the whole shot with Biaggi and Shaky Byrne in second and third place respectively. We're going to run it deep into the Andretti hairpin for the second corner here in the wonderful track of Laguna Seca. It's always so good to be racing here in this fantastic American Grand Prix. I did do a bit of a toss-up between Indianapolis or the fantastic Laguna Seca, and I decided to go for Laguna Seca. We'll do Indianapolis later on, but for now, power setting 2, because I did find using a bit of power setting 3 just made it a little bit too easy. Power setting 2 gives me a fine balance of keeping this one entertaining and relatively competitive. I think it's going to get rather competitive for the next couple of laps, but what I am finding with MotoGP 22 for some strange reason is the first lap, the AI really struggle. They start off the line sluggish and they don't really gain as much speed. Second, third lap, fourth lap, they begin to really pick up the speed, so we're going to keep an eye on this one and see how it progresses. But for the time being, Shaky Byrne now up into the second position ahead of Max Biaggi on board the Yamaha. Colin Edwards, Sete Gibernau, Kenny Roberts, Toru Okara and Shinya Nakano finish up your top 8 for now, but we will get across the line to complete lap 1 of 8. Nicky Hayden in the lead with power setting 2 enabled. Electronics are as follows as well, with TCS on 1 and anti-wheelie on 2 for the time being. Going wide into that corner there, just cutting the outside of the line there. Thought it was going to get a track limit warning, but nothing seems to have materialised so far. But Shaky Byrne has closed things in. It's less than a 0.2 of a second gap to the Aprilia rider, Shane Shaky Byrne, in second place. You can see that gap just disappearing ever so slightly, as we don't quite have the oomph like the AI does on board the straights, because they're obviously using power setting 3 when the opportunity comes. We're now into turn 5 for the difficult braking zone. I can never seem to get where I want to be into turn 5, but we'll improve it as we go on, as we now go into turn 6, bringing on the power of this Repsol Honda, the 212 RCV, I think it was at this point, as we go a little bit deep into the corner now, even deeper for the corkscrew, and that is a bit of a mistake, but we do stay on board the motorcycle of Shaky Byrne, and now Max Biaggi takes over in the lead, so Hayden demoted to second, as this battle will continue to rage on, as Biaggi on board the Yamaha trying to position ahead of the Honda, but not quite close enough as we go into turn 10. Things are going to get really tight now as we break into the final corner for turn 11 here in Laguna Seca. Max Biaggi second with Edwards in third, so Shaky Byrne now demoted off the podium, but I'm sure it's just a temporary setback for the man from Britain as we now go to the left hand side. Biaggi really close there, but we are stronger on the brakes, far too superior on the brakes than Max Biaggi was this time around. Nicky Hayden, Laguna Seca on board the Repsol Honda. Can you think of a better combination than that? I certainly can't. Power setting 2 is still the power setting of our choice for the time being, medium front, medium rear with the combination right now, but Biaggi, the number 3, diving up at the inside, still not quite close enough for a full lunge to really take advantage of Nicky Hayden's shortcomings into the right-hander there, but still, this battle is going to rage on. I don't think we're going to be able to pull away without the use of the third power setting, so power setting 2 for now going wide into the left-hander, and now there we go, Max Biaggi into the lead with a stunning move into the left-hander, but now going into the corkscrew for turn 7. Oh, Biaggi getting really out of shape as we dive to the right-hand side. Quick upshift into second gear and then launch it to the left-hand side. 60 degrees lean angle, maybe even more for Nicky Hayden right there on the left-hand side. But now to the right for turn 10. I do feel really strong here for the left-hander going into turn 11, smashing the brakes. A little bit of rear brake applied there just to slow the motorcycle down. Now we can exit with glee and with confidence, because we are now back into the lead. But for how long? Biaggi still there, waiting for a lunge on the left-hand side. He got us here the time around, but not going to make it 2 times in 2 laps. Things can sort of calm down. We just barely breached half a second there for just a very temporary moment, as Biaggi just wants to calm things down a little bit. We're approaching halfway in race distance. The sun is shining here in Laguna Seca. Hayden has a 0.3 of a second advantage. This is heating up just a bit as we get onto the rumble strip there, just ever so slightly. Try and avoid that if you can do yourself, as it is a very difficult rumble strip. Not quite as bad as Ride 4, it really throws you off on Ride 4, but MotoGP 22 a little bit more polite, I would say. A bit more generous with the rumble strips. And of course, guys, if you're enjoying this content so far, be sure to hit the like button and consider subscribing for a lot more. But Hayden now goes into the corkscrew for the 4th time of asking, keeping it really tight to the left-hand side, and then launching it to the right-hand side for the attack into the left-hander now for turn 8, I do believe. It's turn 9, excuse me, for Rainy Curve. I need to refresh on the old corner names, it seems, but we're now to the right-hand side for turn 10. Ooh, really tight. There is Max Biaggi once more. The pressure is on, though, guys. My goodness. Should have used the heart rate monitor for this one, because my heart is pounding. With TCS1, you've got to be really careful in acceleration, and when you're being pressured like that, it is easy just to put a little bit too much pressure. Sort of a panic acceleration, if you will, but we're not going to be doing that here today. Got to stay focused, got to stay calm. But another lap into the 121s. Very consistent pace as it is right now. Just doing everything we can to keep the Roman Emperor at bay, because he is still pressuring me to another level. Shaky Burner's still not quite got onto the podium yet, but it's good to see fellow American, the Texas Tornado, Colin Edwards up there into the 3rd position. So Nicky Hayden's compatriot will be on the podium if things stay the same, but right now we are focusing on ourselves. The lap time of Caparossi with a 1:21.043 is not something we're going to be able to do here today, but for now we can still focus on the task at hand, and that is keeping the Roman Emperor at bay. Colin Edwards as well, I think he's right there. You can see in the graphic in the bottom left hand corner of your screen, this is one train of about 14-15 riders all ready and waiting for a chance to pounce on the rider ahead of them. This is going to keep on going with so little amount of time left and plenty of power. Still can use power setting 3 if I want to, but I'm trying to avoid against it. The challenge being stick to power setting 2 and win this Grand Prix. Going into the left hand side, going a little bit deep there for turn 11, and that will cost us. Max Biaggi with the addition of power setting 3. Here he comes to the left hand side. The Roman Emperor to the left. Will he hold it on the inside? It's going to be difficult to outbrake him, but we're going to try it anyway. Left hand side will go into the Andretti hairpin. Brilliant performance with a Repsol Honda ride, and we do hold Max Biaggi back on board his red Yamaha. But to the right now, we will go for turn 3, running it deep once again. 0.2 of a second is the advantage. It doesn't seem as if it's going to change. It looks like it's going to be really close now for the next couple of laps. I do feel we can break away ever so slightly, but a small error such as going into turn 5 a little bit too hot can bring Biaggi right back into the fight. Doesn't look like our teammate Toro Car is going to be anywhere near enough, close enough at least, to give us a bit of assistance in this one. It's literally down to Nicky Hayden to try and acquire his 3rd victory here in this USGP. But braking to turn 7 now, chucking it to the left-hand side. Not as tight as I would have wanted it to be, but we're still on board the motorcycle and we're still gaining additional speed. This is actually a promising lap for the world champion from 2006. This could be a pretty solid performance if we stay as we are. Power setting 2 has still stayed the same. We haven't changed it, so we got a small wheelie coming out of the penultimate corner, but now into the final corner, bringing it really tight there to the left-hand side. Getting stuck on the rumble strip will cost us time, and it certainly has. Biaggi's now taking over the front. Colin Edwards is appearing now onto the right-hand side of your picture, but to the left-hand side will go Biaggi. Can he hold off? Oh, a bit of contact. Gesticulation from both riders as arms are flailed and arms are waved. Both riders not happy with that one as Colin Edwards now gets involved. Goodness me. Yeah, the fellow American battling with this American on your screen right now, giving it everything they've got. The Kentucky Kid versus the Texas Tornado, and then the Roman Emperor a little bit further up the road as more mistakes are being made. This is costly mistakes. Is power setting 3 required? I think it might be, but we'll stick to power setting 2 for now. We're just going to make sure we have the most perfect lap we could possibly imagine on this penultimate lap. And a quick glance to your screen on the right hand side there, guys. The exact same lap time twice in a row. You don't see that very often, do you? Consistency at its finest. But now into the corkscrew. Are we close enough on a lunge on Max Biaggi? Oh, Biaggi gets really out of shape there. A little bit too hard with those Bridgestone tyres. As another mistake has been made. Might have been Michelin's actually by then, but I can't really remember. As we go to the left-hand side for the Rainy Curve. 0.7 of a second we are slower on this one. 0.7 of a second is the gap to Biaggi. Has Biaggi just inherited this Grand Prix victory? We'll go really firm on the brakes now in for turn 11. Look how strong we were on the brakes. And if you're looking to brake like that, check out my braking guide tutorial on MotoGP 22. Link will be in the description down below. But for the left-hand side, we'll now go for turn 1 to start this final lap. Biaggi leads from Hayden. Edwards in 3rd place. Shaky Burn in 4th. And Toro Kawa finishes up the top 5. But this is going to get close. Hayden is on the precipice of potentially beating the Roman Emperor for a third Grand Prix victory right here in Laguna Seca, using the slipstream and everything we've possibly got on this Repsol Honda to defeat the man on your screens ahead of us. Going to the right hand side now, bringing on the power, a small amount of wheelie. He'll take a brave man to overtake here, and tell you what, Nicky Hayden is that brave man as he slots up on the inside of Biaggi, positioning the Honda ahead of the Yamaha for no chance of a return. Brilliantly done for Nicky Hayden. Is that the exchange that we needed? Is that the overtake to win this one? Too eager on the acceleration there, sliding the rear of the Repsol Honda, but we'll get a wheelie up on the brakes. We're going to try and get it stopped into the corkscrew, messing it up ever so slightly. We've gone wide. Is Biaggi going to overtake? Biaggi gets back into the lead. Biaggi, Hayden, who's it going to be? Into the final couple of corners. Rainy curve for turn 9. We're right on the cusp of beating Biaggi here, but not close enough. Are we close enough into turn 11? You know how strong we've been. Side by side here, they come into the final corner, braking extremely firm as we go to the left-hand side. Hayden gets the job done into the final corner and will win the US Grand Prix. Oh, it's close across the line. Brilliantly done for Nicky Hayden. And I tell you what, guys, if you enjoyed that, there's plenty more content on the channel just like that. But what an awesome race. I hope you guys enjoyed that even half as much as I did. And if you did, hit the like button. But for now, thanks for watching, guys. It's been a pleasure to make more content for you, and I'll see you in the next video. Shout out to the Kentucky Kid. Ciao for now.
Oh hi, didn't quite see you there. Good to see you're still here. If this video didn't quite sate your appetite, then why not watch some more DrAce content by clicking the video shown on screen now. Furthermore, if you would like to follow me on social media, you can do so now with the links down in the description. Consider subscribing so you don't miss a single DrAce video.